All right, so we've got another dovetail for y'all today, a little Hefeweizen. We had what was it, the Festweizen last week.
Which I actually just also drank one of those for a stream earlier. I was drinking one.
Because I've had this before. I've mentioned it in videos past. One of my favorite Hefeweizens. So you've never had Hefeweizen.
I've not had this one. It's kind of like just a lighter version of the other one a little bit.
I'll have to look at the ABV on it. I think this is actually more flavorful than the other one in the sense that like the other one finishes a lot more light, like a Fest beer.
I think this one almost starts lighter, but it has more flavor in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of how I explained when I first had the Festweizen before, where it's like, all right, this is like a combination of a light Fest beer and a Hefeweizen, where so I feel like this one has a little bit more that banana-y.
Yeah.
So that's why I really like these. I mean, I like both. I think
they're both pretty good. Yeah,
I think I've mentioned
they're
before.
honestly a good trade-off.
Yeah,
like going between them. If we opened one of each and put them in one glass and give it a little stir,
a little stir.
I wonder what the flavor profile on that would be.
I bet you it would just taste.
I bet it would probably
just
taste
a little bit lighter. Of
it tasted in the middle. Yeah.
Oh, the beer nerds would not like that.
They would not like that. No.
But I'm here to try it,
dude. There was a brewery in Iowa, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I do not like their beer, and everybody loves the brewery. But they make a lot of.
I just want to guess.
Oh, you wouldn't hear. It's like a microbrewery. Like they don't even distribute outside of Des Moines.
Oh, okay. In Iowa, I thought you said Iowa City for a second.
I
was like, I think I have like it's 3 to choose from.
Yes, you probably would there. But they make a lot of like craft sours, and they make a lot of dessert sours, which I do not like at all.
Yeah, I'm not a big sour guy.
At my cousin's wedding, like the night before the wedding, like the rehearsal dinner afterwards, all the girls were making it's like taking 2 sours. One is, people are probably going to figure out the name of the brewery from this because it was like a thing they advertised to do. One was like a cotton candy sour, one was like a watermelon sour, and they both tasted like just drinking pure sugar, and you're supposed to like mix half and half and stir them up, and it tasted like when it hits your tongue, this is like, oh, this is something I would have thrown up sophomore year of college.
No, some breweries like do that where it's like they just want it to almost like sell to like kids, and when I mean kids, like college kids, and because it was so funny. So my dad, like, he's the one who got me into beer, craft beer, that is, and he loves an IPA, loves a good New England style, West Coast, doesn't really matter, but he likes like the hoppy stuff, just like the heavier stuff, I guess. And it was so funny. He hasn't used Untappd, which is like a beer rating app. I use it, and his first rating in like years, and it's just like I think he rated it like a 1.5 out of 5, and he just I saw my dad. He just wrote like, "This is absolute trash." Like,
it was so bad. They reminded him the app exists.
It was so bad that he he went to the app. It was some type of.
He's like, I gotta slander.
No,
this.
it was like a hazy IPA from a Yuengling, I don't know what it was. It was like a Yuengling brewery, but it was like still a microbrewery. I don't know how it works.
Interesting.
But it was just so funny because he hasn't touched that app in forever. And I just know
he was like, I got it.
He's like, this is literally like, this is what they do. Like, he was like, oh, like, is this what you guys do nowadays?
Close them.
Like he was like, it tastes like, literally, he's like, it tastes like candy.
Yeah.
In a bad way.
That was like what those sours were. Yeah. It was tastes like candy in a bad way. Yeah.
It tasted like candy. Are you selling these to like the kids? Is that why you're doing it? Like, and I'm like, that's so funny.
It looks like those sours tasted like somebody took an already sweet but good sour and then just dissolved a cup of sugar in it. It was not good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome back to Talks Off Melrose. This is week 9. Yeah.
It's at least week 9 of our podcast.
Yeah,
Is it actually week 9 for
football? Because our first one is just I just named the first one week 1 because it was pre-week 1. So all of our podcasts are pre the coming week.
Gotcha.
So Minnesota is week 9.
Gotcha. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Smart.
It just kind of worked out that way, honestly, though. I think initially I named the first one week 0, and then about 3 weeks in, I realized the mistake, and I went and I corrected. I back corrected all of them. So we might have said the wrong week in a couple of the first few. But
I mean, it's also like we always start off with the recap, which is the week prior.
Yeah.
So
this is the week 8 and 9.
Yeah,
and then next week will be 9 and 10. Last week was 7 and 8.
Y'all get it.
So on and so forth. Yeah. So
big win.
Big win. That was as we talked about last week, was a must win somehow.
It was a must win, and like it should feel even better.
Yes,
Penn State is a good team.
They
I don't
are
care
a
what
good
anyone
team.
says.
And I think that they proved that at this game. Yeah.
Like they came into Iowa and like we're gonna pat ourselves on the back. We have a very good like night home games. Like you all know that.
It was a super loud environment.
With a rookie QB or a freshman QB.
My brother pointed out about like halfway through the second quarter, he's like, dude, they're not trying to like mess us up with the snap count at all. They're like first count every time, snap the ball. Like they're not going to fuck around and trying to like, they're not going to get those offsides and those false starts. And because we still didn't blitz enough, in my opinion, even with that knowledge, but we'll get to that. Let's start with some more of the positives. Final score 25-24, and it didn't start off amazing. Just like the Indiana game.
I was just going to say, pretty much the Indiana game to a T on that first drive.
Yeah, Gronowski with a little bit of a hard pass to, was that Gill that he hit with it? Right off his chest, bounced up in the air. And talk about a fucking athletic grab by that D-back, though. One-handed, like just off to his side, somehow pulled that in.
I need like someone's got to have a picture of him just like
snagging that. There's probably one
like
somewhere.
In the air like Superman.
Here, I'll write that down. I'll see if I can find one, and I'll put it in the link up if I can find it. If it's not there, I either forgot
I don't know,
because
I feel like I would have seen it on Twitter or something.
Yeah, so it started down. We gave the interception inside the 25.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like pretty much. It was the last thing, like literally like the worst thing that could have happened.
Yes,
because as we talked about last week, like,
and as we talked about with Indiana.
With Indiana, as we talked last week, especially with a QB coming in, has never started before.
You need to rattle him.
You need to rattle him, just like Iowa did the last time they played Penn State.
A good way to rattle.
And
him.
it was just like literally they gave him all like the confidence. And he had some confidence, which you know, I applaud him.
And you know what I think part of that issue is? We talked about last week. I said, you have to defer that kick. You got to put that quarterback deep in his own territory. You got to make him drive the field, and you got to rattle him on that first drive. Let your really good defense get out there.
Yeah, and let the
do that.
fans be the fans.
Yes.
And get loud.
And Kirk took the ball. And there's a lot of mistakes in this game, and I think a couple of them were coaching mistakes. And that was the first one.
Which I think I did see. I don't know if we've put this in the doc, but I definitely saw like on Twitter that Kirk did say like, oh, like maybe
put the exact quote in here. He said, basically he just said that he's become hard-headed and he wants to take the ball first every time, like he used to.
He almost like kind of was like, I should have done
he's
that.
like, when we have those really elite defenses, some of the coordinators convinced him that, hey, we need to defer this kick. Let's come out of half with it, and let's let our defense step up and do their thing first. And I think he basically just said like, I've kind of gone back on that. I've become hard-headed. I've defaulted back to I always want the ball.
Yeah.
Which I think in a lot of cases is a good way to do it.
You
know, you want that extra possession in the first half. You want to try to have a lead going into the half. This is a case where you don't want the ball first. You want to make them prove it. You need
to rattle them. You need to, go out there and prove, scare the guy. Like, you should go and scare the guy.
And when we had him
rattled, hand shaking there.
We stopped him on 4th down on the 1 yard line and offsides. Another just dumb mistake. They got their 4th down back, and I think it was him who ran it in. Gronowski who ran it in.
Yeah, no, it was like 4th. Yeah. When they had like the redo, or not the redo. It was either
I think when they stopped it was like 4th and 2 or 3 or something.
I forget which exactly happened, but they missed like 3 tackles on him, and he ran for a first down or a touchdown. I can't remember.
Before that,
and
then we stopped him on 4th down, like right on the goal line too.
But can I say before we get further into the game, something that scared me was that the interim head coach at Penn State, they're interviewing him before the game, and they're like, "What's the game plan?" And he just like looks at the interviewer and is just like, "We're gonna unload the clip." And I was like,
that's kind of bad.
I was like, that was hard.
That's kind of bad.
I was like, we and like the guys I was like watching the game with, we looked at each other, we're just like, oh, we're gonna get killed. So, like literally he was just like, unload the clip. Like that's all he said. Like, oh, what's the game plan? Just unload the clip.
What an analogy.
I'm surprised I wasn't going like viral afterwards. Like we all were sitting there like, we were all sitting there like dumbfounded. We're like, that's like the hardest thing I think I've heard a coach like say. Like he was just like, like we're playing for not like there's like we have nothing to play for, so everything to play for almost.
Yeah.
Like It was like, that was one of the sickest interviews I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, we're getting killed.
They
like,
backed it up for a minute.
They did.
Backed it up
they
for
backed it up for like,
interception, touchdown. And then, so after that, we got that field goal, trade some punts, missed a field goal, which we'll talk a little bit more out later. Trade some punts. And then obviously we all know how the half ended, which
it just felt like it felt in that first half. It felt so much like the Indiana game.
Yes, it was a slugfest of a first half. And you know what? The thing that sucks though is that what did we go into that first half down by 14-10?
Yeah, 14-10.
And we gifted them all 14 points. That was a 10-0 ball game at halftime, and they just the dumb interception and a fluke play at going into half gifted them 14 points.
And it was just like that was like we dominate. I was like we dominated and we're losing. Like that just doesn't happen at like for Iowa specifically.
Yeah.
If they dominate, they're winning like 10-3.
Yeah.
like, so because they don't make, usually don't make mistakes like that a lot. Yeah. So it was like very
there were player mistakes and coaching mistakes too.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, going into the half, I was like, it was like a weird feeling of like, oh, I'm not worried, but at the same time, like I'm not used to like being like, how are we losing?
Yeah. I felt so good lining up for that kick going into half. I'm like, damn, like we're going to go into this half up 3, maybe up 6.
Well, I mean, it was I would say it was like what, 66 yarder?
It was a 66 yarder. Okay. Well, yeah. And Kirk got torn apart on Twitter for that afterwards. People are like, that's the dumbest thing you could ever do. It's not.
No.
Drew Stevens has the leg.
He has the leg for that kick.
And I'll tell you exactly what went wrong with that kick. And it was Penn State's coaches played that perfectly. They called that timeout late enough because it's a long kick. You got to kick it low and hard. And they called that timeout just late enough where we got the snap off and let Drew take the kick.
And
then they lined up and they put 3 guys right where that ball went over the line the first time.
Yeah.
And we were sitting in the north end zone. You could see it. We watched that first kick go. It went right between kind of the center and the center left, essentially. And they called that timeout. And then Penn State rolls their guys back out there. They kind of set up on the line. And right center left, they just got 3 guys about 3 yards back. And I looked at my brother and I went, oh, they're going to try to jump this line. They're going to knock this thing down. And they've blocked, what, like 3 punts or kicks in the last 2 weeks?
That was the 3rd game in a row they blocked a punt or a kick.
Yeah, and I looked at my brother and I went, they're gonna knock this down. Like they've lined up guys perfectly to jump that pile, and sure enough, they jumped it down. I, however, did not expect that
it was
fluke bounce.
It was a perfect bounce.
Perfect bounce.
Perfect bounce. That was another thing. Is I was like, it was bad luck to just like have it be blocked, but bad luck that it.
Yeah,
not even bad luck because you're saying like they played it perfectly. It's just like,
and I don't think it was a bad call. I really don't, because we know Stevens has the leg for that.
Yeah, but I think that was another thing that went on top of it was like probably like so that kind of practice one he had, he missed it short by a little bit.
So he knew he had to kick it harder.
So he knew he had to make it maybe a
little
bit lower,
and they knew right where to put their guys.
Yeah.
And you know what? Me, who knows at the end of the day, in comparison, nothing about football, could see out of the way they lined up that they were going to block that kick. I guarantee you our coaches on the side were going, oh, fuck, this is getting blocked too. Yeah. But they just didn't have the timeout. If we had a timeout, I'm sure they would have taken that timeout.
Yeah, there's nothing
but we
really
didn't
you
have
can do about that. That's just good coaching on the other end.
I mean, the only thing you can try to do is like scream out there to like, hey, take the delay a game. But like they're not paying attention to what's going on at the sideline at that point. Like the punter is just trying to catch the ball, put it down. And Stevens is obviously just like
he's
locked in on the field goals, just trying to,
I know. I think I texted you. I was like, fuck Stevens as well. But I was just frustrated. I knew it wasn't his fault. I mean,
he also missed that one before that.
That's
too.
why I was so frustrated.
And that it was another example of I think that was another kick that was good if he was 10 yards further back. Like it was curving perfectly. He was just a little too far forward. He's just got to learn how to finesse those balls a little more.
Yeah. Coming out of half, that's when I got a little worried. 10 plays, 75 yards, touchdown for Penn State. They go up 21-10. And that's like,
and it kind of felt over at that point.
Yeah, because it was like, okay, they got 2 kind of, they got 14 points off of us giving it to them.
Yeah.
But our defense looked good. Their offense looked bad. Mm-hmm. And then they come out of halftime and just run it down, like, go down the field. Yeah. What did I say? 75 yards, 10 plays. Took up almost 6 minutes. Like it felt demoralizing. 21-10. I was like, how did we get here?
And then, to be fair, we punched right back. We did answer that.
Which is, that's...
And I felt a lot better after that. And honestly, obviously, there's bigger examples of this later in the game, but in that drive, Gronowski just put the team on his back.
Oh yeah.
Like, god damn.
He's not even 100%. And
you could tell in this game. Here's the deal. I think Gronowski has some kind of an injury.
Oh yeah.
Where when this season's over, he's gonna get surgery.
Yes.
And he knows he can play on it, and he's just gonna play on it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be 100% for the rest of the year.
Yeah, because I think it was at that play. Yeah, it was third and 3, and he had the 38-yard run for a first down, obviously.
Yeah, and I thought they handed it off. I thought that it was Xavier Williams at first. I thought they handed it off, and he went tearing on the sideline. And I was like, "There's no way they're gonna catch Williams like this." And then he goes down, and I see the numbers, like, "Holy shit, that was Gronowski."
Well, even like I can't remember if it was on that play, but like obviously the big play we'll talk about down the road.
Down the stretch.
Like you could tell, like obviously he ran for a lot, but you could tell like he wasn't like full on speed. Like like you could tell he was like running down there, but there was a little bit there that he was like, okay, he's not 100%.
Yeah, and I think
he still was able to do it.
Part of that too is he knows he can't outrun some of those D-backs, and he just doesn't want to get the ball stripped, so he's looking over his shoulder a little bit. But what a run. I mean, just breaks the middle, muscles 3 guys, like breaks some tackles. And
I like how right after that he just throws like a 10-yard pass. Like he was completing the small passes when he needed to.
Yeah.
After that first first quarter or whatever it was.
And then obviously the Moulton punches it in, and then we go for 2, which is another coaching decision that at that point in the game I didn't really like. I get why they did it. You get the 2-point conversion there, and then you get a touchdown. Then Penn State's got to get a field goal. They can't win on a field goal. They're going to tie it up. I just think that at that point in the game, there's so much left in the game.
Yeah, and especially our offense has obviously been a lot better, but do we have those short play
and the other thing,
we don't have the wide receivers for that type of
that's the other thing I don't
situation.
get is I don't know why you're going out there lining up for a 2-point conversion and you're throwing the ball both times. You do that. I think if you just they know you're going to do it. I think if you just line up with the O-line, put a guy in at running back, and you just try to muscle that in there, you get one of those 2-point conversions minimum, or
at least have, I know as we just said, Gronowski maybe he's not 100%, but have him do like a run, not even a run pass option, but just have him roll
out. How he scored that touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. Like just like a little rollout,
and the last play of the game too.
Actually, a run pass option. Like have him looking like he might run, looking like he might
I would
pass.
love to see us implement it like a triple option.
Yes, that would be
sick. I know that would be a big change to our offensive playbook, but goddamn, would that be fun?
That would be sick.
That might be a kind of thing where let's say the stars fucking align. We somehow make the college football playoff, and we're going up against like a Georgia or an Ohio State. It might be a kind of thing where you go, our playbook's not going to win this game. Let's mix it up.
Yeah. See, that's what's frustrating because I think if Gronowski's 100%, you could they could just implement that, and he's athletic and good enough to do some of that type of stuff. But I think now it's he's maybe even at 90%, it's can you pull that off?
And one thing I will say, though, the passing was not all there this week.
No.
There were a couple of missed passes. We only passed the ball twice in the second half, which is crazy. Absolutely insane.
Down 21-10, they passed twice after that.
Yeah. So we started 1 for 6, and then after that, he did go 9 for 10 for his next 10 passes. And then obviously only 2 of those were in the second half.
Yeah.
And which was good, but none of them were. There were a couple of overthrows downfield. I will also say he's gotten a lot of shit on the internet about this over the past few days, where people are like, there was one tweet that was going around where he was talking about how he doesn't have a single passing touchdown, but 7 rushing touchdowns, and all the Iowa fans are like, I didn't know that rushing touchdowns counted for less. That's crazy. Just sarcastically. In Gronowski's defense, our receivers cannot get open.
No.
They cannot get open. It's a problem. And it looked great against Rutgers because I think Rutgers defense is not good, as it turns out.
Yeah.
But you put them up against a good defense, and they just can't get open.
Penn State has a decent defense. I know they gave up 22 to Northwestern, but they still have a good defense with talented guys.
They do.
And wide receivers clearly just they weren't getting open. And that's why he had to run some of these.
Yeah. And some of those overthrows too, I think that's just throwing away and not getting grounding. When there's only 2 yards of separation between you and between your receiver and the D-back, it's sometimes better to just put that out of play than it is to risk an interception there. Yeah.
Your top 2 receivers are pretty much, Weegan had 2 receptions for 21 yards. We know that one of those was pretty much a
check down.
Xavier Williams, so check down.
Yeah.
2 receptions. And then Vandersea, Moulton.
There were a couple of Vandersea slants that were pretty decent.
They were all 2 receptions for average 8 yards, 6 yards. not much there.
But the bright part about it is couldn't get the throws, but it didn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Because Gronowski sets the single game rushing yard record for a quarterback with, I think, what is it, 130 or 131?
It was 138.
I could have sworn I put the exact thing
130, my bad.
130? Okay, yeah. 9 carries, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 huge carries. That one we already talked about in the first half, obviously. And then what is it, 76 yards? Is that the...
It was 67 yards.
67 yards. Got him flipped.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Going into the second... Okay, so what is the score when that... Were we down 3 at that point? The score is 24-19. So we need a touchdown.
Yeah, because we got a field goal.
24-19, 4 minutes, 56 seconds left at the end of the half.
This was also after we get the touchdown and then we stop them on 4th down.
Also, fun story about that first touchdown, actually, in the second half. It's a night game. We were drinking at the tailgate, you know. We brought a few beverages into Kinnick Stadium. We snuggled them in, and we had some, like, Jim Beam shooters. And my brother was sitting next to me, and those shooters were burning a hole in his pocket all game. He's like, we got to find a chance to take these. And there's an older gentleman who sits next to us who is just the most fun guy in the world to sit next to. Like, we've been sitting next to him for years, and it's always a great time. We got a great system where I check the other scores on ESPN on my phone, and like I let him know what's happening in the other games, and he's got the binoculars, and so he can tell me what's happening like on the replays better and stuff. It's a great system.
That's awesome.
Oh, he's great. During the Indiana game when we got the pick, I was sitting in a different part of the stadium for that, but my brother said that he started hugging him when we got the pick, which he did the same thing to me in the 2021 Penn State game when we hit that pass in the end zone. He was just like, he's a great time.
That's awesome.
But my brother like looked over at him. He was like, "Hey, we scored a touchdown. You want to do a shooter with us?" And he was like, "I don't even know what a shooter is." And I was like, "It's just like whiskey." And he's like, "Oh, I love whiskey." He's like, "What kind?" And Nick was like, "Jim Beam." And he's like, "I love Jim Beam. That's my drink of choice." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in." And his wife sitting next to him, and she's like, "Oh my God." And we scored that touchdown.
Oh, perfect.
We scored that touchdown, and we whip out the 3 shooters, and he had 4, so we just turned around and found somebody else who wanted one. And we all cheersed him and took him, and we turned around, and they're reviewing the touchdown. We're all like, "Oh shit, we jinxed it. We jinxed it.
God damn it."
Anyway, yeah, so that touchdown earlier in the half puts us up to 16-19, right? Yeah.
Or it was 21-16.
21-16, yeah. So we're still down, and we need a touchdown. And I think at that point, to that same guy next to us, we're talking to him at this point in the game, we got 5 minutes to go. We got to drive essentially the entire field. Like, we got a long field ahead of us. Need a touchdown.
Yeah. Well, so it was downs. We got a field goal. They got a field goal. So
traded field goals.
24-19.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were talking to that guy, and it was just kind of like, I don't think we're going to win this game. Like, I just don't think this is in the cards. This is not a type of drive that Iowa completes.
Yeah, no, I literally was
thinking,
it's a game-winning drive. I was thinking about that, and I'm like, oh, like all these that have gotten close against good teams, and yes, Penn State's they're fucking good teams.
And not even this year, just historically.
It's like, okay, like if we usually win
you gotta go
those
back
big
to like
games,
2015, 2009 are like the seasons where we could put together a drive like that.
Yeah. Usually when we would win against like, good opponents that maybe we didn't think we were going to win, it was like we would have that lead and we'd keep the lead, or like it'd be tied, and we'd
look good that week.
Yeah.
They would just look good.
Yeah. And this was one of those where I was just, and I was like, this is going to be Indiana. We're going to like, it's not going to be great. We're going to lose again.
Yeah.
Like it was seeping into my head.
Yeah. And it was just like, we were all looking at each other. We're like, I don't feel great about this. This just isn't a drive that Iowa makes to win a football game.
Yeah.
And then fucking first play out of scrimmage, 67-yard run, Gronowski just busts it to the outside. It was a fucking party. It was so fun.
Oh, it was. I mean, I can't imagine at the stadium, but like I was at an Iowa bars at Merkel's.
Yeah,
and everyone was going nuts. We're like, did that just actually happen?
Oh, people were jumping on the stands, like leaping in the air. It was awesome.
Oh, I mean, I did put this in there. Like, what, best play? One of the best plays in the last
probably since that pass during the Penn State in 2021. Probably since the Reganey pass.
Like, that just never, a 67-yard play from our QB. Like,
a scramble.
A scramble for 67 yards. And that's when I was just like, I think right after I was like, if he was 100%, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like
and I will say, same thing. They caught up to him, and you see him slow down and start protecting the
Yeah,
ball.
he's just
And
like-
I looked at my brother, and I was like, "Oh fuck, he's hurt." Like that. I think he
Yeah.
hurt himself making that run. He's done.
Yeah.
Luckily, he just I think knew he couldn't outrun him and just wanted to protect the ball and get out of
Yeah.
bounds, which was smart.
Yeah, it's just like no, like yeah, the last thing, like, because that would have been also like I don't know about very Iowa because we don't really turn the ball over, but that'd be like just if he
Our
ran
luck,
that
yeah.
67 yards, we're all
then
going
fumbled
insane. He just fumbled it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but he got out of bounds, and then very next play, 8-yard jet sweep, Caden Weechin.
that was
touchdown.
beautiful because it was just like okay, we didn't because sometimes it's like right, we have that huge play
Mhm.
and then we stall out, kick a field goal.
Yeah,
And it was just like right away. We used that momentum right away.
yeah,
Great play call, got Weegan into the end zone. That was beautiful.
phenomenal. And
And
then
we used that momentum.
yes, we went for 2 again there, right? And
Yeah,
failed. And
and
at
it
that
was-
point,
the thing is
I
that-
do get it.
Yeah.
because that puts you up
You
a
need
field
it to,
goal.
yeah. And but the thing is, like, yeah, I don't think we have. I don't know. I don't think we really have the personnel to be good at 2-point conversions.
No,
We don't have
we
like
just got to run that ball.
Yeah.
You just got to run
because
the ball.
both times
and
didn't look close. Like
No,
he was trying
they
to
were
find
not.
someone like we don't have like obviously our starting tight ends out for the year. Like so
Yeah.
we don't have like that big body in the end zone.
Our best bet at that point is Vanderzee, just a slant. to
Yeah, I think
Vanderzee.
they were trying to
the
find him.
at least the first one they tried to
Yeah.
hit Vanderzee, yeah. And then also defense, which kind of struggled this game. Not struggled, but like they were tested. You know,
Yeah.
they were tested, but they definitely stepped
Like,
up
I mean,
on that.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
that last
especially
drive.
against the run. Like I think
Yes,
Katron Allen, 28 carries, 145 yards.
absolutely.
That's 2
destroyed
touchdowns.
us.
Like you don't see that much against the
And
Iowa defense.
So the worst part about this, the running line stats, which again, Katron Allen is a good running back.
Yeah, he'll be. I think he'll be an NFL.
Yeah.
He'll be drafted.
Most of his runs were right up the middle, and he only got hit at the line 40% of the time, which is not
That's
good.
not good.
He also broke it. So let's see. I think the stat is 41% of his carries, there was either a broken or missed tackle up the middle.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah. So the defensive line struggled a little bit against, which again, kind of what we talked about last week. Penn State at the end of the day is a team that was expected to win a national championship. That is a good running back and a good line they're going up against.
Yeah.
But like, if you want to have a season like we would like to have, you got to be able to stop that.
Yeah.
And they could not. That
No.
was the. I almost do think with Drew Aller we lose this game if they can get the way they were running the ball. If they can complete a couple passes over the top, I don't know if we.
And
have
I think we
a chance.
talked kind of about it last week. Like, I don't think like Franklin gets fired if Drew Aller's still there. I don't think
That's true
because
Yeah,
like I
you let
think
him
they
play
saw
season
like the
out.
writing on the wall. He's out for the year. You just lost North, 3 straight games.
Yeah.
Because I think there is again, we kind of talked about, there is a possibility that they could have, with Drew Aller, they could have turned it around, won out, and maybe squeaked into the playoff.
Yeah.
Like
Very
there,
true.
there
Very
was
possible.
It was a small chance, but there was a chance. And I think with the writing on the wall of Drew Aller's out for the year, they're like, okay, Franklin's gone, Drew Aller's gone. And,
Yeah.
and Drew Aller, at least going into the offseason, was looked at as like, probably top 5 QB in the NFL draft, if not top 2.
Yeah.
I do think,
He's
maybe
slid
Drew
a lot
Aller's,
now.
I think, I
Yeah,
think
he
if
has
Drew
slid a
Aller
lot.
plays that game, I mean, you never know. Play it out. I believe Phil Parker knows what he's doing, so I think they would have probably switched some stuff up. But
Yeah.
I can't disagree when
Yeah.
the other team's QB goes 15 for 28 for 93 yards and 2 interceptions.
I also, did you see they did play that third string QB a couple of times on design quarterback runs? Yeah.
I did notice that too.
Mhm. Yeah, but then going back to Gronowski, so the defense steps up. They makes a stop when it counts. They got that good 4th down stop. And you know what? Let's talk about this for a second. Best blitz of the day, and it felt like one of the only times we were blitzing. Apparently, the stats say that Gronkmeyer was pressured on 31% of his dropbacks. He didn't look very pressured to me. He looked like he had a lot of time back there. Just looked cool and collected.
Yeah.
Like you got to get to a quarterback like that. And I just felt like we weren't blitzing the way that we could have.
Yeah, I agree.
31% pressure rate according to PPF. We only had 1 sack though.
Yeah.
So if you're pressuring him on 31% of the time and you're only getting 1 sack off on a quarterback in his first start, it's like, is it real pressure? You know? Or are they just dropping back and letting you take a little space and then stopping you?
Or
you know?
it's like, again, with that play in the first drive where you get, you pressure them, you get to them, and you just don't tackle them.
Yeah. Well, we
Like,
had
he
9
breaks-
missed tackles this game, which is we're averaging 5 per game.
You could feel it, which is so unlike Phil Parker's defense.
Yeah.
And I understand it's a lot to do with the young or inexperienced linebackers.
Yeah. So the line struggled, but the secondary honestly played better than the line for the first time this year.
Mhm.
And they fucking stepped up. Gronkmeyer 1 for 8 and 1 interception on a pass of 10+ yards. However, don't count the interception because that's not a ball you should catch. You got to knock that down. That was a dumb ball to catch. You always knock that down.
Yeah.
The punt would have been way better. I would take the punt every day of the week.
The second he intercepted that, all of us were looking at each other like,
I also don't think he intercepted that.
We were like, we kind of hope he's out of bounds. Because
I think he was. There wasn't a great replay in Kinnick. I don't know if you got one on the TV.
I don't know. It's hard because I'm trying to think back and I'm like, oh, I probably like, no matter what, like we're going to get the ball back. Yeah. Really. So like, I would rather believe. I think he probably did get in because I'm like, I think I probably did see it and I was just like, okay, he got it. It wasn't a good play.
It should not have caught that. Other than that, though,
who was that again?
That was Deshaun Lee, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
And maybe just for his confidence.
There you go.
Confidence sake.
Yeah. The downfield passes they were played fucking lights out. However, we got torched on those screen passes. Absolutely torched.
Yeah.
Every 3rd down and 4 because, like we said, they just couldn't stop Allen. He'd get 6 yards on 2 plays regardless. Every 3rd down and 4, they would just roll a guy out to the left, wide receiver screen, pick up 6 yards every time. It was just, we got to find a way to shut that down because I think Penn State exposed a big hole in our defense with those plays. And I mean, every team that watches film is going to run that on us now.
Yeah.
Like those screen passes were minimum 4 yards, more like 8 every time.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe just Penn State's wide receivers, good blockers. You never know. Like, but
yeah, you hope. But regardless, you gotta start drilling that in practice. You gotta figure out a way to stop that.
Yeah, I have my trust in Phil Parker.
Yeah,
he'll figure it out.
Speaking of the secondary, Cohen and Ostrenga played phenomenally, and specifically Nwampa, which we talked about against Indiana. Yeah, we talked about Indiana was probably the best game of his career. I think he topped it in this game.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
His stock's skyrocketing right now.
He's playing his way into the draft.
Sure, 100%.
I think before this year, I don't think he was probably getting drafted.
No.
But it sucks that this is his senior year because it's like he's finally coming into it, and it's like if you had one more year like that, he would be it. Like next year,
technically, I think does he technically, if he didn't want to go to the NFL, could he have next year?
I don't think so. He's played all 4 years.
I know, but does he have a COVID or no?
No, COVID years. Last year was the last year for players who could have a COVID year. Oh, unless for like flukes with like injury red shirts, but he didn't have any of that.
Yeah, no, I think if he continues to play like this, which is what we want him to, he'll be drafted.
That interception was huge.
Oh, massive.
Just phenomenal tackles, always in the right spot. He was Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week.
Yep.
Which he deserved it.
Yeah, no,
the
was
dude
great.
Was the best player on defense. Maybe
he was flying around out there. He was hitting folks. I loved it.
Outside of Gronowski, the best player on our team for sure, and maybe outside of Gatron Allen, best player on the field.
Yeah, no, he was all over the field. It was awesome. He was. I mean, did he get a tackle? Like, did he get a tackle for loss too? I feel like he was getting in the.
I don't think he
had
a tackle for loss, but he had like ostrenga tackles. He and Ostrenga led the team with like 11 and 10
he had
tackles.
10 tackles, 7 solo. Yeah, no tackles for losses, but
Ostrenga 11 tackles, 5 solo, 1 tackle for loss. Yeah, and Nwampa 7 solo tackles. 7 solos is
crazy. Yeah, for like a safety.
I did see a tweet that said something about Nwampa this year is he's playing in a position that was more natural to him coming out of high school, where he was being played slightly out of position. I don't really understand intricacies enough.
And I also just said, for a safety, and I do think safeties get a lot of tackles. So
that's true. Still 7 solo tackles.
No, 7 still crazy. Yeah. And again, like they were impactful.
Out of his mind.
Yeah, like they were impactful. Like you could see it around the field. Yeah. He was hitting folks.
And a huge interception.
Yeah.
There's a Twitter video. I'll put it in the link dump. It's 2 clips. It's Gronowski pumping up the crowd coming out of the tunnel at the beginning of the game, which is kind of hype, especially with how he backed it up.
Yeah.
And then Nwampa's interception celebration. And you can tell that was like that pick was like letting out some demons. He was like, you can tell he's frustrated with the way he's been playing, and he's finally coming into it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously just got to continue. Keep doing that.
It sucks because it seems like I said, if he had one more year, he seems like the kind of guy that like I always had a lot of, like a George Kittle, or I don't know. I feel like we've had a lot of these guys who like they were good in college and then they just get to the NFL and they just play on a next level. And it's like, God, why couldn't we get that kind of production out of them in college?
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to think of like other guys that were like that, but there's definitely some maybe not like
honestly Riley Moss.
Yeah,
like he had a good, very good senior year.
Yeah,
but he struggled before that. Speaking of Riley Moss, I put it in here. a little bit lower. He's the lowest completion percentage of any NFL defensive back this season at 39.
Yeah, no, he's been playing great. I mean, he had some injuries, I think, speaking his year or
he did.
Beginning his career.
It's really hard because as good as Riley Moss was at the end of his career, that first year where he played those like 4 or 5 game stretch and just got fucking torched is really hard to forget about. That was a bad year.
Yeah,
that was a really bad year.
Yeah, no, it is.
I mean, he was a freshman though. Like you can't blame him for that. He got forced into a situation he should not have been in.
He's one of like 3 defensive backs that are white in the NFL.
Yeah,
with Coop. With Coop.
Yeah, and I didn't think we were gonna have a guy like that on our defense this year. But I mean, Dwomp is doing it. Yeah. He looks great. He's definitely. I think he's playing himself into the NFL.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he's not gonna be a high draft pick. It maybe be a free agent signing, but like he's definitely going to get a contract at this point.
I think I was looking at it like I think maybe in the offseason, and he was like ranked. And I think if you are ranked, you'll be drafted. So I do think
I wouldn't be shocked if he's drafted at all.
Yeah, I think it's more like a lot of times in the NFL they look for like your athleticism, and a lot of times that 5-star does help you a little bit.
Jennings Dunker also shooting up the draft boards.
Our whole offensive line. I'll say our whole offensive line.
Yeah,
which like we can get into. I don't know if we're done.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Well, the only thing really left is Gronowski at the end of the game, which we'll just cover that at the end. But yeah, the O-line. Well, to start off, Logan Jones also phenomenal. I'll put this block in the link dump. Dude, he blocks the guy out of bounds like 6 yards. It was crazy.
I forgot about that.
But he was graded PFF midseason best center. So that's promising.
And I don't know if this is the second time they've done it, but highest PFF grade of the week. Our whole offensive line, that is.
Yeah.
Against Penn State, which is, again, Penn State's got a good defense.
They do.
And they only allowed 3 pressures. Again, very good. And I think, we'll get into it versus Minnesota, but I think that's going to come in very handy against Minnesota's defense.
Offensive line played phenomenally. Special teams had some struggles. If we want to cover that really quick. Yeah. Obviously, Kading. I say that because Drew Stevens, despite missing that field goal, tied and then surpassed Nate Kading as the all-time leading field goal kicker at Iowa, which is a crazy stat.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that.
Which, I mean, he's played 4 years, so it makes sense, and he's been good.
Who was the guy before Stevens?
What is that guy's name? Is it the Grazo Award? He won it, right?
Yeah. Keith Duncan.
That was it.
Dude, I thought
the blonde kisses in Nebraska. Yeah.
I thought he'd be a. Did he not win the award?
Yeah, but I think 2019 was like he should have won it. And somebody else got it, and it absolutely should have been him.
Oh, was it the Georgia kicker that wore the glasses?
Have been. Oh, was really? He was.
I think so.
What's the guy who kicked on game day?
Rodrigo Blankenship.
That's right. Yeah, he was on game day this week. He kicked the field goal for the 100,000 or whatever.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah, so I think it was him that won.
Yeah, but he had a higher percentage, more points, and Iowa that year was kicking on every fucking drive.
No, literally, I think it said he had 36 field goals. That's crazy.
But Stevens passed Kading, played 4 years, so it makes sense. He'll still get drafted, but he definitely has some cleaning up to do.
Yeah,
it's just kind of was it 2 years ago with the Northwestern kick where it was he struggled all year, and then he hit that game winner against Northwestern, and from there he was just fucking lights out.
Yeah,
and I just kind of hope he has that moment this year.
He's
not struggled nearly as much this year as he did that year either.
Yeah, that's true. Give him some confidence. And the thing is, every time he goes up to kick, I mean, maybe not, honestly, the first kick in the Penn State, I'm he's going to fucking miss. I was like, he's getting on my nerves. He's going to miss this. I literally kind of, I was I'm so in on when you first said, he's going to be an NFL. No, he's going to be drafted. And I was I'm so in on it. And then, I think the first kick of the year, I'm dude, he kicked a 50-yard or something. That could have hit 70. This guy's awesome. And then he's just kind of missed. And I'm just
it's just the accuracy, which and I think NFL kickers or NFL teams care more about your leg than your accuracy because they can fix the accuracy.
Yeah.
After that, we'll talk about that final drive. Defense stepped up, got the turnover. Gronowski goes in, and you just have to get a first down to win the game. You get the 3 plays, burn it, and then it was third down when that bootleg, right?
Yep.
And it was
beautiful.
Absolutely. I got faked out in the stands.
Did too.
And I was watching, I was watching from behind Gronowski, and I got faked out.
Dude, I think the camera guy got faked out. I got faked out. And I was okay, that's
Again, I will give credit to my brother here because they lined up for that one, and he goes, they should just bootleg this. Gronowski should just take this outside and go around the pile with it.
Hey, shout out him.
And they did exactly that, and he was very happy with himself.
Dude, that was incredible. Like, that was one of the best play calls I've seen Iowa have in a long time. Like,
and fun fact about that play call, Gronowski said in an interview after the game, he said that he and Tim Lester were the only ones that knew he was going to keep that bootleg at the end. The rest of the huddle thought that it was going to Molten.
Wait,
like the entire team thought that was going to Molten.
That's awesome.
So apparently not even Ferentz knew that he was keeping that. It was just him and Lester. He said that they practiced and talked about that play in secret. And he literally was just probably set up to go to Molten. Then he just like pulls it and goes along the outside.
I want to see I want to see one Iowa wins. I want to see Kirk's face. I want to be just like seething still. Like how dare them? Like,
which honestly, phenomenal play call because the entire defense commits, and so obviously it's such a short yardage and they know you just need the first down. When your whole defense is committing to blocking for your running back, obviously the whole defense is going to go after that too. Or when your whole O-line is committing for the blocking to the running back. And he just pulls that ball, runs around the outside, takes it like 17 yards or something, runs it out of bounds, or not out of bounds, slides down. But
which was also smart.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's a few people like
so
there's always a few people at the fucking like bars that are like, what is he doing? And I'm just like, dude, shut the fuck up. You clearly like the second they say that, I'm just like, I'm because they don't understand football, which is fine. Like, it's fine. But I'm just like shut up.
Throw a flag on the bar.
Yeah. Like, shut up. Just be happy.
I'm
not gonna be mad at you for not knowing the sport.
Go get a beer.
I'm glad you're here rooting on the Hawkeyes, but go somewhere else. But yeah, beautiful play. That was awesome. It was just a perfect way to end it.
End an ugly game with just a phenomenal, but also at the end of the day, a dumb play call in the name of football.
Oh yeah,
like it's so just dumb that worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your injured quarterback bootleg to the outside to
that's
ice
what
the game.
That's what needed to happen.
God, it was so good. It was an ugly game, and we won it. It was an ugly game against, I know that the media disagrees with this, but a good team.
Yeah.
Like a team with talent at the very least. They were short-handed,
of course, as we just said. Like, without Drew Aller, they're a different team. But like, I give a lot of credit again to their interim head coach because he had them fired up. Like they did come to play. They came out swinging.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm like, okay, it's a good win. I don't care what the media says. Like, it's a good win.
And I talked about this during the Iowa State game. In the name of what we've talked about week after week is that the team just keeps getting better. Like, it seems like they get better every week.
Yep.
I talked about after Iowa State where it was like one of those games where that Iowa State game, Kirk kind of got out coached and we made some dumb mistakes and the players got outplayed a little bit. And it's one of those games where it was just a knockdown, drag out game close at the end. And we made the dumb plays that normally Iowa's the one who capitalizes on those dumb plays and wins. Iowa State did that to us. This was kind of the same game, but like the team had improved to a point where we pulled out in the end. And that's a really good sign in my head.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Like, we're definitely going to have to clean up a lot and improve a lot to play. Like, we got to go to USC. Nebraska still looks decent. And obviously Minnesota next week, not ranked, got a vote. Looks good.
Yeah, they just beat the ranked Nebraska team, which we'll get into Nebraska in a minute.
We've got a tough schedule ahead of us, and they're
all winnable.
Up, but they're getting better.
Except, I shouldn't say except, but Oregon is the outlier to those other ones.
Other football news: Kingston Miles, running back who he was at the game on Saturday. 3-star, 56 ranked running back, I guess. I don't know. He's a recruit they're going after pretty heavy, and he said that Kinnick was the best environment he's been to after the game. So I think we're one of his top schools now.
It was a good game to go to.
Yeah, it definitely was. And then not really any basketball news this week, but baseball released their schedule. So I'll put that in the link dump if anyone wants to check that out. I love college baseball.
I've gotten more into it. One of my good buddies went to Arkansas, and that's like obviously like that and basketball is like a huge thing.
Yeah.
I know football. Like they have nothing else, which is he's telling me he's obviously like, I'm not just making fun of them. Like he's telling me, he's like, oh yeah, there's nothing else in Arkansas. Like it's just University of Arkansas sports. And he got me to go to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Which that's a whole other thing. But like I do actually suggest it. It felt a lot like going out. It felt like Iowa.
Yeah.
Like it was a pretty campus. Like if you ever, I don't know why, but
I don't know why you'd ever just be in Arkansas.
Yeah, but like go to University in Arkansas. It's nice. It's a fun place to go out. But what my point was is that I went to while I was there, I went to the baseball game, and they were like the 3rd ranked team in the nation.
Very good.
And it was electric.
Yeah,
like
it's so
I
fun.
never thought I'd like college baseball, and the way he talks about it, I like got into it. And I think that was the year that Iowa had a very good team. It was a few years ago. I think it was like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They had a really good team. I think they lost in the
super regional. I think
it was like the furthest they've been in a little bit.
Yeah. God, last year was so disappointing.
That was.
I was at that last game against Oregon, where if we beat them, we win the regular season title.
Because
my brother was graduating
they lost
that
like,
day.
What, 10 in a row or some shit?
Yeah, they collapsed at the end of the season. My brother was graduating that day, so literally he was graduating in Carver, and the game ended like an hour before his graduation. So we were just like standing over at the baseball field, like, let's go watch this game. And God, we had it for a second, but. Yeah, I love college baseball. The tournament's always so fun. The Big Ten tournament and the World Series.
Doubt he's gonna watch this, but Sven, like, shout out you.
Yeah,
he got me into Iowa baseball just because of how big of a college baseball fan he is.
Yeah, and I think like there's not a lot of people report on baseball. So we're not going to do like a weekly Iowa baseball podcast or anything, but like we'll probably talk about it as the basketball season goes on, and we'll probably do some. We can do some shows on it like around like tournament time, like towards the end of the season, when
or
people
if they're
really
just like playing out of their mind.
Yeah, also true. Yeah, maybe we'll do like some one-off specials, but I think like definitely around the big like the tournament we can do like a couple of special shows for that, because not a lot of people talk about baseball. Yeah, and it's a very fun sport to watch, college baseball. Some other stuff around college football, as we talked about, Minnesota receiving 1 vote this week. So. Yeah.
Can I go on? I have a little bit of
How about it?
I have a little bit.
The floor is yours.
I keep talking about this. Yeah. Top 25 is a joke. We said this, I think, the other week. There should not be, which it'll never happen because of money and ratings, but there should not be anyone ranked for at least the first like 2-3 weeks. Like I think the first 3 weeks there shouldn't be any rankings, because so many of these teams are ranked because they beat teams that were ranked and now they're bad. Like Georgia Tech is number 7, I think. Yeah, 7. Their only decent win is against Clemson, who's not even good anymore. Or not anymore. They were just ranked at the beginning of the year.
They were never good.
Turned out to be bad. Yeah. And like kind of, I mean, I shouldn't, call out, I was looking at Virginia. It's because they beat Florida State. Now Florida State's, hasn't won an ACC game in however long.
Yeah.
Like even like Michigan, like they're 25, and like I work with a Michigan guy, loves them to death, and he's like, we should not be ranked. Like it makes no sense.
I really think Michigan's just in because Nebraska lost. They just replaced the Big Ten team.
Well, the thing is, like I was looking at it, like this is my big problem with it. It's that the SEC big, SEC bias, whatever. Like I think there is, but I'm not gonna get into that. But it's the fact that there's 10 SEC schools, 5 Big Ten schools, and then 4 ACC, 4 Big 12, whatever. But it's a fact, okay, there's 10 SEC schools in the top 25. They're all beating up on each other.
Yeah.
So, like...
How do you know?
Why is it that the Big Ten's beating up on each other, yet they barely have 5?
Yeah, like, why don't we have Penn State, Northwestern, and UCLA in here?
Yeah, like...
I get why UCLA's not in there. Yeah. They lost their first 4 games.
Yeah, but it's just like that type of stuff where I'm like, I'm looking at some of these teams and I'm like, they have one quality win and it's against a team that's no longer ranked. And I know that happens all the time, but that's kind of my point.
I think some of this gets fixed when they inevitably put out the playoff rankings, though.
Yes.
Because the playoff rankings are pretty good about being like, these guys should not be this high. We're going to put them. But it's more of a power ranking, the playoff ranking.
Like Notre Dame, they lost to 2 good teams at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what their record, I think they've won out, but.
They have, yeah.
Still.
Which, speaking of, we need them to drop a game. We don't need it. If we end up 10-2 and Notre Dame ends up 10-2, it'd be better if they lose a game for our chances of getting in. Yeah. If we end up 10-2, there's a good chance we are actually end up statistically 3rd in the Big Ten, at which point it would not matter. However, our shots, if Notre Dame drops a game, are drastically better.
Yeah, I just look at the top 25 and I'm like, especially a lot. Again, we're Big Ten bias, of course, but like I look at some of these and I'm just like, dude, like there's 10 SEC school. Like we have the top 2, yes, but
which Indiana at number 2. Just quick interlude. Insane. Anyway.
It's still insane. Like, that's another thing is like, no, I know Iowa on paper, they've beaten all like teams that have 0 wins in their conference. Mm-hmm. I know how it looks, but still, our 2 losses are to the number 2 team in the nation.
Yeah.
And
an Iowa State team that we thought was good.
Yeah. And Iowa State, because according to the top 25, when you think a team is good, that is when, you lose or you beat them, that it's a quality win or quality loss.
And I mean, Iowa State's loss is Cincinnati, who's ranked, and Colorado, who's obviously not, but
yeah. But I bet you, I don't know, I'm not going to look up every team's schedule, but Cincinnati, I don't know, who else have they beaten? If they beat just Iowa State, and Iowa State's now not ranked, how is that quality win? Or
Cincinnati definitely deserves to be ranked. I forget.
I shouldn't be picking on them, because honestly, my gripe is just SEC. They go in and they do awful in the bowl games the last 2 years, yet they're always top. They always have 10 teams in the top 25. Who did Vanderbilt beat? Did they beat Alabama?
No, they barely lost Alabama, but they beat LSU.
Okay.
And,
no, I don't even have a gripe with
too.
Vanderbilt. Good for them. I actually love it. They're top 10 right now. I love that. But it's just everyone's beating up on each other. And so I'm how is there 10 SEC schools in there and only 5 Big Ten? And everyone's oh, well, they are harder. They have better talent, this and that. Why have they been god awful in bowl games the last few years? And I know you can kind of be oh, well, their best players aren't playing, but also the Big Ten best players aren't playing. The ACC best players aren't playing, and yet they're still beating the SEC teams.
Yeah. When do college football playoff rankings come out? Is that next week? Isn't it usually Big Ten?
I have no idea, actually. I don't know.
It might be this week, actually, because there's only 9, 10, 11, 4 weeks of playoff rankings. It would have to be at least 4, right?
Yeah. Again, I will say this again. I worked at ESPN. There's 100% SEC bias.
Oh, yeah.
I worked there. There's 100%.
10 teams is crazy. It is crazy. There's no argument to put an SEC team over Ohio State and Indiana, who are both undefeated. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Indiana, did you see the Sengeti buyout that they put out? Shockingly low.
Yeah, it was only...
If he wanted to leave, it was if he wants to leave before the end of next year, his buyout's $15 million, and any team who wants him will pay that. Any team who wants him will pay $15 million to Indiana to buy him out.
I feel I saw
and it drops a lot. End of 2027 goes to 12, or between 26 and 27, 12 million. 27, 28.
I feel there was something that was why it was so low.
Oh, well, I don't know why it's so low. You want to know another wild fact about it, though? It's tied directly to if either the AD or the president are not at the university, whatever the number is at that time halves. So they tied their jobs. No, they wanted it in there because it secures their jobs.
Gotcha. That's so funny, actually. Everything revolves
absolutely
around,
wild.
Everything revolves around college football.
The university's president has job security through the football coach now.
That's actually crazy.
A couple other college football things. Saudi Arabia wants to buy the Holiday Bowl.
I think I did see that.
Imagine a bunch of fucking college kids in full pads playing in the middle of the desert. Are we trying to kill someone? Insane. I don't think they'll go for it simply because there's a good chance that a team would refuse the Holiday Bowl because of that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they'll take that chance.
Yeah.
All-time NCAA record broken. Okay, his name is Monty Quinn, Division III Curry College Colonels.
You said Curry College?
Curry College.
Curry College. You explain. I'm going to look up where Curry College is.
So this week he had 20 carries for 522 yards and 7 touchdowns.
That's insane. I want to see the highlights of that.
Fun fact, the guy right below him on the stats, the running backs below him on the stats, 1 carry for 55 yards and 4 carries for 40 yards, and then a 9 and a 7. So over close to 700 yards of rushing offense for this team. 71-27 win over Nicholas College. I don't know anything about this game or this guy, and I haven't done a lot of reading about it. I just saw this stat and was like, I have to put this in the sheet. He had touchdowns of 30, 58, 64, 78, 84, and 85 yards.
So he just touched the ball and just didn't stop until the end zone.
Absolutely insane. Maybe I'll put this in here. There's a video of him, one of his runs. They're playing on a high school field. Look at this. This is there's a soccer goal pulled off to the side of the football field, and there's a track going around it. This is straight up a high school stadium.
I mean, yeah, they have 2,000 undergrads.
Yeah.
It's in
That's 92.2 fantasy points for anybody wondering.
It's in Milton, Massachusetts. Curry College.
92 fantasy points is insane.
You want to hear a fun fact about Curry College?
What is it?
The president is a former academic dean at Coe College in Cedar Rapids.
Interesting. Okay, what else?
But
do
that's
we have in
crazy.
here?
Maybe he's D1, or maybe his offensive line is like that.
I think that the defense they were playing against was just that bad. If the second guy had a 155-yard carry, I think the defense might have just been that bad.
Yeah.
The only other game I put in here, which was kind of fun, the Missouri-Auburn overtime game had a crazy ending. Both the coin flip, on the national broadcast, one of the guys goes out for the coin flip and he's jumping up and down and he's going, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. It's just broadcast on national TV.
I didn't see that.
It's very good. And then also at the end of the game, they both missed a field goal in overtime. And so Auburn missed the field goal and then Missouri goes to kick their field goal and their coach thinks they make it and he goes running off the field.
Oh wait,
he
no
goes running
way.
off like this
He
and he gets like, he gets like a couple feet onto the field. He turns around, he's like, oh, what? And he has to go back off the field. Yeah, here's him screaming.
Ooh, I mean, I was right over. So
yeah, it was pretty close.
He did the
out. Yeah.
It's the fist
the
pump,
fist
like,
pump
and then
the hands. Yeah, it's very funny. Oh, and then also Indiana plays UCLA, which I am fucking stoked.
Dude, I'm gonna
see.
text my buddy who I've mentioned, like, huge, went to Indiana, huge Indiana. Like, you gotta be scared.
You gotta be.
You gotta be
scared.
you actually gotta be terrified, honestly.
Yeah,
because they haven't lost since Penn State, right?
Yeah, no. Michigan State, that could be a fun one.
Yeah.
Michigan State kind of sucks, but
honestly,
and then BYU goes to Iowa State. So as an Iowa fan, I know it goes against everything you believe in, but you need to be rooting for Iowa State in this game. We need them to win, both for my bet and also for our playoff hopes.
The problem with the Michigan State game is, like, they're just both like, and it's usually like, the opposite almost. Like,
yeah,
at least one of them is, obviously Michigan's usually very
Michigan's
good.
decent. Michigan State kind of sucks.
I don't know. I have the guy who I work with in my ear who, like, expects championships every year. So he's just like,
fair.
the team's awful, and they're 25th.
Yeah.
Like,
also, just like, there's always crazy stuff that usually happens in that game, unless one of them's getting blown out. It's like Trouble with the Snap is one of my favorite. It might be my favorite college football play of all time. It's so good.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah. Who made this?
Who made what?
The graphic.
On 3.
Like, why do you have Auburn and Arkansas? You already have a million fucking SEC. That you pick a top game that's between two non-ranked SEC teams. Like,
Iowa
why?
Minnesota honestly feels like a bigger game than that.
Yeah, it is.
We're playing. Winner of that game's ranked for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Again, SEC bias. It's everywhere. Win your bowl games, and then you can talk to me.
No major changes in the two deep. Jazz and TJ both back this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then some tight end news.
Yeah. So, again, we talked about it earlier. Addison Ostrenga, who went down with season-ending injury. He did. Kirk did come out a few days ago and say that he will return next year,
which doesn't shock me. He needs to for his NFL prospects.
Yeah.
If he wants a shot at the NFL, he needs to.
But it's still great for Iowa to have him coming back. And then
especially a year that was like, we're kind of weak at the rest of tight end, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to be there to step up next year.
Yeah.
It'll be good to have him.
Yeah. And kind of on top of that, you then have on the other end of the spectrum, true freshman tight end Thomas Mayer. Kirk Ferentz said he could see some snaps this week against Minnesota, which is, he's 4-star tight end, 9th ranked tight end in the class.
Yeah.
Coming in. So he was a bigger prospect. I think he was one of the top. I mean, if he's a 4-star for Iowa, definitely one of the top prospects coming in. So it'll be exciting to see him. I am a little, like, not surprised, because I know, like, the younger guys take more time at Iowa a lot of time.
I'm not shocked though, because that's going to have to change with NIL, because it's like, you don't put a guy in the field like that, you're going to lose him.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe something like this is like.
And also, when you have, Kirk also said he's like, Hayden Large is really stepped up into a good tight end, even like it's not his natural position. But at the end of the day, you don't have like your guy at tight end. So like, why not give another guy a couple shots,
Yeah. And I was reading a little bit that, like, even though he's the ninth ranked tight end, he played a lot of line in high school. So he played primarily lineman. I can't remember if it was offensive or defensive, but they're like, like, it was just the fact that, like, he would then start playing tight end, and he was like an all, like, conference basketball player. So he was very athletic.
I did not see this quote you put in here. This is crazy. Kirk Ferentz, to my knowledge, we haven't had a quarterback like Mark Gronowski since I've been here. What does that mean? What does he mean by that is what I want to know. Is that a compliment or not? Because
I think it's a compliment.
It's definitely a compliment.
It's a compliment, but it's not like, oh, he's the best we've ever had.
Kirk Ferentz is like, I've never had a running back at quarterback before.
Yeah, no, literally.
Never had a Brad Banks who could run, but that could also throw.
Yeah. Maybe he's just like, I don't know, like... yeah.
Again, Mark Gronowski. I think Mark Gronowski can throw, and I think our receivers are struggling.
Yes.
But regardless.
Yeah.
That is a crazy quote.
Yeah. No.
I also see he hopes to be back at 100% after the bye week for the Oregon game, which, like I was saying earlier, it almost seems like something that needs surgery at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And what do I know? Obviously, he knows better about me than I do. It's his knee. But yeah.
But it seems like something like this, like it's like seems like he's playing on it, yet they're like, yeah, every week it gets better,
which is fair. And I could say, especially another bye week could be huge for that.
Yeah. And a lot. I will say, shout out Elliot. I think Clow. I've gotten a lot of like these tweets and stuff from him. So shout out.
Okay. Well, should we get into Floyd a little bit here?
Yeah. Had a long one today.
We have. Yeah.
Not really looking too much into it. I thought they were having a worse year, to be honest with you.
Yeah. When they beat Nebraska, I was like, damn, Nebraska lost to Minnesota. That's crazy. And then everyone was like, oh, Minnesota, this makes sense. And I was like, oh, it does? Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, their loss. They're only two. I think it's because their losses are to Ohio State, which is understandable, but Cal, and I think they lost to Cal by like I think it was like 10, 14 points or something. So not a great loss, and I think that was beginning of the year. But yeah, they come out against they're 5-2, so same record as like I feel like the whole Big Ten.
Yeah, the entire Big Ten.
The entire Big Ten and the entire SEC, and yet
Iowa or Ohio State and Indiana are tied for first, and then there's like 9 teams tied for second.
Yeah, they're 5-2. They, as we just said, they just beat Nebraska 24-6.
Why did Minnesota play Cal?
I think it was the second week. I think I have them up.
Okay, Cal beat Oregon State, Texas Southern, then Minnesota. Then they lost to San Diego State. They beat Boston College.
Talking about Cal?
Yeah, lost to Duke, beat UNC. So yeah, average teams at this point.
Yeah, I mean, besides like the easy teams they played,
probably a good Cal team.
Yeah,
at least in recent years.
They beat Rutgers 31-28. Got killed by Ohio State, which is it's Ohio State. Beat Purdue by a touchdown, which Purdue's pretty bad, so I don't know about that. And then they beat Nebraska, and I didn't watch the game, but what it kind of seemed like is just I think Nebraska's
from behind the whole game.
I feel like Nebraska's offensive line must be awful. Like I was looking at it, and so Minnesota won pretty much, I think, because they got 9 sacks. Mm-hmm. like I didn't watch the game, but like I feel like Raiola could have not had much time to throw. You're getting sacked that much, or not turning the ball over, but having to punt it away. Not getting in a groove. And I was looking through the play-by-play and stuff, and
is this Gophers had 7 sacks versus Rutgers also?
Yeah, so they did have 7 sacks. So they had 0 sacks versus Purdue. But then the week before that, or 2 weeks before that, because then they played Penn State. I didn't even look at that game.
Classic trap game of Purdue at home.
Yeah. And so that's why I was like, oh, maybe their defense isn't like that, because I was looking at Nebraska and they give up a lot of sacks. So I was like, okay, maybe they're not like that. And then they, had 0 sacks against Purdue, but then, they still had 7 versus Rutgers. So I think their defense is probably what's going to carry them a little bit.
The quarterback's also been playing pretty good.
No, the quarterback's been playing well, but it's also like, I think Iowa has played better quarterbacks this year. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. I'm not worried about the quarterback specifically, but Minnesota, at the end of the day, they do seem like a pretty complete team.
Yeah, I think they're very similar to Iowa. Just like I was saying this before we got on, I think they're very similar to Iowa. Mm-hmm. Just it's almost flipped where like we run the ball more and they pass the ball more.
Yeah,
and that wasn't actually their case against Nebraska. They actually ran the ball a lot, and that was what helped them. But they can pass the ball. And
it could be kind of another thing with like Penn State was, where if we can't stop them on the ground, you just that secondary is going to have to step up again.
Exactly. And I don't know, I'm pretty confident in this game. Again, just looking through everything, I haven't watched much tape, which I know is, the eye test is better than just looking at stats. But I think a lot of their strengths are kind of our strengths on the other side of things. Like, they, we've played teams that are like more pass heavy. And we've actually, even though our secondary isn't, our strong suit, we do well.
Yeah.
And if teams that are, on paper, their defensive line's very good.
Yeah.
Our offensive line is one of the best in the country, so I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah. It seems like it's a good matchup in a lot of places, honestly. Like it could make for a pretty exciting game.
Yeah.
That being said, when I watch Iowa, I want non-exciting games.
Yeah.
When I watch other teams, I want exciting games. When Iowa plays, I want to win by a lot.
Yeah. Let's see. So actually, PJ Fleck said about Gronowski, which I thought was pretty funny. He said, "What do you want to start? He runs the ball like a running back, throws like a quarterback. He's really, really intelligent. He's different than Dylan Raiola in a lot of areas. He's like a running back playing quarterback. If you could take Darius Taylor and Drake Lindsay, who are their starting running back and quarterback and put them together, that would be him. And I think that's kind of the best way to describe him. He's a winner. That's all he's done is win. I think you should never be lost. I think that should never be lost. I mean, when you have a winning quarterback, all they do is win, which is, great, very big praise by PJ Fleck. I'm just like, if you're their QB or running back, and you're like, damn, he literally just said their QB's like a combination of both of us. Like I don't know, as a kind of a backhanded compliment to his own, but
yeah. Just the series. I didn't realize this when I this graphic that got posted. Minnesota is actually up all time on this series, 63-53.
That is very surprising.
And they were really good in like the 40s and 50s, so like that makes sense, I guess. However, last 10, Iowa is 9-1, should be 10-0.
Yes.
The streak, Iowa 1, should be Iowa 10.
Yeah.
The last meeting we won 31-14. Bit of a revenge game because we should have won the year before too. It was fucking bullshit. Obviously, we all know what happened.
Did you see what?
Yeah, I did. I actually started that tweet also when I was putting them in earlier. I went to put that one in. I was like, "Oh, you covered that one. Cool."
Yeah. So there's like they kind of asked.
This is crazy. I will say first of all, just this happened. Well, yeah, just go ahead.
Okay, so Kane Weegan, who obviously is Iowa's kick punt returner, says he heard a little bit about last time Minnesota came to town as Iowa's punter. They were like kind of interviewing, asking him, and he said, I think it was a ref last week that said, yeah, you guys have had some fair catch issues. He was like, yeah, let's not get into that.
I think that's a crazy thing for a ref to say. I don't know the tone of this. I didn't see the quote. I only saw the quote written down. I didn't hear even Weegan talk about it. I obviously didn't hear the ref say it to him. The tone to me kind of comes off as like, now I know you guys had some fair catch issues, like as if like, all right, don't do that really illegal thing you did again, which it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
and I know I'm gonna look right into the cameras as I say this. To everybody who's gonna complain about this, I fucking know it wasn't that it was a fair catch. I know that they didn't say it was a fair catch. I know that they said it was an invalid signal. It's still fucking wrong, and it's still fucking bullshit.
It is.
It is just not true.
Yeah.
And the fact that also that they used the fucking top like side view where like you can't tell the angle that his hand is at, and then you show the other one and his hand's like under his fucking shoulder, like below shoulder length. That's not a fair catch. And don't you sit here and tell me that any signal is an invalid signal, because they do it every goddamn game of every goddamn week. Anyway,
all I'm saying is like when that happened, everybody who didn't even like people who didn't give two shits about Iowa or like Minnesota was just like, okay, that was a sick play. How the hell is that a fair catch? And then you just have all the Minnesota fans, which I actually might watch. I know that exactly. They're just like, ha 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 ha.
I also know that in all those things where people talk about that play, all the people in the replies who were replying about it and being like, oh, like the call wasn't fair catch, the call was invalid signal. I know those are all Minnesota and Nebraska fans and probably some Iowa State fans too. I know it's just the people that hate Iowa. I know that the general consensus is that play was bullshit.
Yeah.
I just want to cover my bases.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we should bring Cooper in for this game.
He should.
They should have flown him into the last one, and they should have had him on the sideline at Minnesota.
Yeah,
it's
at Minnesota, right? I didn't even think about that.
No, it's at home.
Oh,
yeah.
It's at home this week?
Yeah. We played at Minnesota last year, and I think they should have brought him to Minnesota to lift.
Do we have any away games?
Do we have any away games?
I feel like we've been home like every week.
We have been. And I will say,
I know it was Iowa State, but
yeah, we're getting to the point where you can't look ahead a single week on this schedule.
No.
It's going to get rough at the end. So we have Minnesota at home, then obviously Oregon, Michigan State.
It should be at home. It should be at home. It should be a dub.
And then that's like the one that should be a guarantee left on our schedule, and then obviously at Nebraska. You are right though. We have 3 of our last five are home, which seems crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of forgot Wisconsin was away just because they sucked.
Yeah, that's true. Also, like I said last week for the Spirit game, I'm not going to be as adamant about this one because I think we should have saved the blackout game for Oregon.
Yeah.
But this is the blackout game, so make sure you wear black. I'm not going to put a seating chart in for this one because if you can't figure out,
just wear black.
You're gonna have it. We have other problems if you can't figure out what color.
Like we didn't color coordinate. We just happened.
Oh yeah, it is the blackout. It's also fucking cold out here, and most Iowa winter gear is black.
Yeah, my hands are getting hard to move.
It might be about time to wrap this up.
Yeah,
my fingers are turning white.
Yeah, and I think we've talked a while. It was a good. I mean, it was a good week.
Yeah, we're 1:30 in. We'll cut down a good portion of it.
Yeah,
we'll have maybe we'll have the fire pit next week though. Yeah. We talked about that earlier in the year. We might have to break that out. It's a little muddy down there right now. It rained all day yesterday, but
if this cold continues, it'll harden up a little bit.
It'll dry. Oh, we didn't say the line for this game is like -7.5 for Iowa.
Oh, really?
Let me look up the exact stats real quick.
I know. I don't know why. Like usually these type of games, I'm like nervous about. Which this is probably not good that I'm thinking this way, but like I'm pretty confident. Like I'm pretty confident. Like I think we're gonna win this. I don't think it'll be like it might be a good game for a while. I think the final score won't like I'm thinking like a 10-point win.
Yeah.
Like a 27-17 or something.
I was going to say like
27-14.
24-32 almost. I think it could be one that kind of like gets sloppy in a lot of points. Oh, wow. Line moved. Iowa -8.5 at -110.
Damn. Okay,
over under 38.
A little bit. The more that they're like, oh, Iowa. Well, actually, the books always know. So
money line -350 on Iowa.
Yeah, no, I'm actually feeling confident.
We should win this game. This is another. We should win this game.
Yes.
You know, we should.
All right, we'll wrap up.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
100-yard. I want a 100-yard rusher. I think Moulton. I don't even know if
that's a big ask. What do you want to see out of this game? Only a 100-yard rusher.
I think the thing is that I think we're due for
we kind of
a breakout rushing game.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I didn't look into anything. I just kind of just popped in my head. I'm like, you know what?
Gut feeling.
Just a gut feeling.
Dude, some of it. All right, it's Moulton or Jazz. Which one should I bet 100+ yards?
Moulton. They're gonna give it to Moulton. Yeah. I'm feeling it.
All right. Well, wherever you're watching this, if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Give us a like. Comments help our metrics. If you're on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Podcasts, any of the other ones we're at, rate us 5 stars. Leave a review if you want. Say something nice or don't.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll shit talk you in the comments of our Spotify reviews. Yeah. That could be fun.
That could be a segment.
Check out our website, officialsports.com/Hawks Off Melrose. That's where we find the link dump, links to our socials, links to the podcast socials, all that stuff. Yeah. I think we covered it.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Hopefully after a dub. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Drew.
And this is Hawks Off Melrose. See you next week.